Okay, so we are here in the Asian market at the open, hoping for some volatility into a short. We are short 5 contracts in ES. We're looking at this FVG on the 3-minute. That would be our optimum take. We've set our profit line right below that at the 668, capturing sort of 6.5 points. You can see volume is tapering off here in our VRVP. We're hoping to get a push straight down through that. And you can see that on the DOM screen, volume is quite thin below. We'd have to be testing the low of day to start pushing further down. You can see our MACD, we're only on the 3-minute, but our MACD is angling down. Histogram is looking like it could push lower, and our RSI is quite low. We're going to be setting an upper bound. If it breaks through that, we'll be exiting. I'm going to be very careful here because it's a thin volume time period. Any player can reverse our position. So we're going to be ready to exit and flatten if we need to manually. Going to set an upper bound on our MACD as well. Okay, going up to some higher time frames just to have a look. You can see the histogram is weakening on the 5-minute. RSI is pretty low on the 5-minute. It actually already might be a little bit cooled off, but we've got a volume shelf above, and hopefully that's going to act on our position and push us down into that tapered volume that we're talking about. That's the session low from the New York session, hoping that that's the magnet that we're looking for here. Tapering volume. That's our water slide that we want to fall down. FVG right there, cut through, and then exit in profit and leave. You can see on the 15-minute, the histogram is not exactly strong, and the RSI is still kind of weak. We're below the 200 EMA, hoping that all of this confluence together pushes us lower. I'm going to head back to the 1. This red zone up here is going to be the absolute kill zone. This zone here, which is the retest from the bounce of the open at the Asian session, is going to be where we tighten the leash. Now, ideally, we're out. If it starts reversing, we're out before it's up in that red zone. But we're going to set ourselves, depending on the outcome, we're going to set ourselves an absolute kill zone, just so that we have that mental stop in place. We're going green now. Ideally, we're not letting green go red. So I'm going to just label this 3-minute FVG that we're targeting. And you can see over here, we've set ourselves for roughly a 1,500 profit goal. As I said, thin volume time. So we will manually exit if we need to, but we're going to see what we can come up with. RSI curling down, MACD curling down. Like the look of it at the moment. Volume's a little thin. There's actually a zone here where we might see a bounce. You can see on the pre-lunch session for New York, there was a little bit of, there were some participants in this area here which caused a bounce. So we're going to have to try and push that zone before we get to the FVG. And we'll call this the potential bounce zone. Seller exhaustion, highly likely in a time like this because it's so thin. It's so thin on participants because of the time of day. So it doesn't take much to bounce. And we are trying to take advantage of the opening volatility of the Asian market. So we're just going to label that out for clarity. Our kill zone was a good rejection at the outset, 8 p.m. EST. Then we had a bounce, lower high. Now we're pushing a lower low. I like the setup. I like how everything's looking, but we are going to be aware of if we need to manually exit. Right now, our DOM screen is showing that sellers are exerting a little bit more pressure. We're starting to head in the direction that we were hoping, which is great, but we will not let green turn red. So we are going to ensure that we book profit here no matter what. Okay, getting a little wary of where we are right now. Okay, that's a wick up. Okay, we wicked up, rejected off the 9, which is positive, and we're setting the top of a seller zone with those multiple candle bodies causing a flat top, and we're now hopefully about to attack the low of day again. As I said, that yellow bounce zone might present a problem. There are participants sitting there previously. Our goal would be from that zone straight through, but that is a big ask. That's a lot of movement in a thin volume period. So we're going to, if we have to, we'll manually flatten. We'll take some profit. Profit is profit. And that's what everyone should be aiming for, even if it's not everything or there was quote unquote money on the table. Profit is profit, and that's what we're looking for. On the 5-minute, we're still looking good histogram wise. RSI is looking good. On the 15-minute, we're still looking good. Unfortunately, this candle is not playing out as we wanted, and that histogram is starting to look a little stronger than we want it to for some downward action. So we might have to start playing out. I think in a different time of day, this would be an easy play to the downside, but there's just not enough seller participants right now. Okay, pushing close to low of day. Everything seems to be evening out though. And now I can see to the right, sellers aren't stepping in as heavily as we need. And I think that if we see it bounce here, we're going to have to exit. But that's fine. We're going to book some profit. Yeah, and we're booking profit. Good trade. Didn't let green go red. I hope that was helpful.